This is the fucking mindset that's keeping our people enslaved mentally. So when I was 19, I really started doing some digging, right? I started reading. People ask me all the time, Bria, how did you end up becoming an atheist? There's a lot of different things that happen, right? But I'm gonna give y'all a quick storyline. So I'm 19, I am going to a Catholic institution, so I am required to take theology classes. I open up this fucking book, we're talking about the Bible. You know, I've been a Christian all my life. I'm from Texas, so we are good Bible thumping, we are Bible thumpers, right? If anything happened, Jesus, right? So I am reading this motherfucking Bible. We were reading in class, right? This man goes, well, Bible means books. And so they took a bunch of different religious texts and put them together. I said, okay, cool, I can take that. We started diving through this shit started not making sense. A lot of y'all don't know there are two creation stories. There's Adam and Eve. That's the one they feed all the damn time. Why? Because it keeps women subservient to men. It aligns with this idea of this hierarchy of God, man, woman, child, everything else. It aligns with this idea that God created the world in 7 days, and that it aligns with that idea, right? The other creation story is that God created man and woman at the same time. Neither is better or worse. One doesn't belong to the other. They were created at the same motherfucking time, right? When you actually start like really diving into this, you learn about contextualist versus fundamentalist. A fundamentalist is a person who reads the Bible for exactly what it is, right? There is no distraction from it. There's no deterring from it. It says it. It is what it is. Here's the problem with that, right? Over the years, not only has the Bible been translated multiple times, so they have intentionally and unintentionally mistranslated certain things, they also have taken certain parts out because it didn't align with what they wanted. And so the version of the Bible in which that a lot of people have, it's not even the same Bible that people had 1,000 years ago. That's part of the problem, right? Hey, right? What's also a part of the problem is that at certain points, the church ruled the government. And so they were doing what they wanted to ensure there wasn't a problem. It's the same ways in which when they started colonizing, Europe started colonizing Africa, they decided to have meetings, right? They had this big ass meeting. Why? Because the Dutch, the French, the Spanish, the British were all starting to fight each other. They said, we came in here trying to get these resources from these, we ain't trying to fight each other. So they had this big meeting, they divided Africa up. And that's the reason why you have Dutch architecture in Africa. Right? Learned all these things in school. People like school isn't important. Gotcha. Right. So you have fundamentalists, and those people really believe that the Bible is, when you do what the Bible say. Then you have that's fundamentalists. And then you have contextualists. Contextualists believe that the Bible was inspired by God, that God was very much instrumental in the creation of the Bible, but that man is man, and man will put things into the Bible to ensure that their point or their goal gets put across. And so people who are contextualists understand that the Bible has changed over time and that it must continue to change to grow, because again, the essence of God, what the Bible tells you to do, how to love people, how to maneuver in the world, what not to do, is still very important. They also understand that the Bible has a bunch of stories in it that aren't actually real stories. It's more like those old wise tales that we tell people, those generational tales that we tell children in order to make sure they, behave a certain way, to grow into certain people, to learn these lessons, right? So I'm 19, I'm learning all of this at one time. It gets to the point where I realize agnostic is a thing. That I can believe in God, I can believe in this bigger power without believing in an organized religion. Because also, what did I start doing? I started taking art classes. And as I was taking these art classes, I started learning about other religions and other stories. And then because I'm an inquisitive person, I started reading about these other religions and these other stories. And a lot of them are very similar. A lot of them say the same shit. The further in history you go, same stories. Change the names of people. Same stories. And I realized, people are trying to figure out, why are we here? What is my purpose? How do I become the best version of myself? Also, you realize a lot of people can't read through most of history. This is why the public school system is important, right? Because if you cannot read, then people are going to read for you, and people are going to make decisions for you, because you can sign away your whole life and not know it because you weren't able to read the fine print properly. This is the reason why they know that the average American reads between a 6th and 8th, at the level of a 6th and 8th grader, but they don't write bills and they don't write laws that are going to go into effect in terms that a 6th or 8th grader could read. It's intentional. All this stuff is fucking set up, right? Right. So I'm 19, I'm learning all this, I'm reading all this, I'm learning about different cultures, and I realize it's all the same, and I say, oh my gosh, I can believe in a God and not believe in Christianity. And then when I really think about it, I think about, did I ever really believe it? Did I ever really believe that God sent his son and the son came and these folks killed him? I actually never really believed that story. You'd be like, well, that was the problem. You never had true belief. No, baby, I was a Christian. In my 7th grade, we went to church almost every weekend. When I was at my grandma's house, I was going to church. I learned about the Bible. I read a good chunk of the Bible for myself, right? Because I wanted to know, because I'm going through this, I'm learning these things, and then I get afraid because I'm like, what if the devil is tempting me? What if the devil is tempting me? What if this is what temptation looks like? And so I start fighting it. I start fighting it. I start being like, no, this is the devil. This isn't real. And then I realize, how do I, for myself, get to a point to where I know what I believe is what I believe if I'm keeping my ability to understand within a box? And so you know what I do? I say, hi, I'm going to denounce myself as a Christian. And it doesn't mean that I'm never coming back to Christianity. It means that I need time to circle back. I need to be able to go and read and explore and understand not just the Bible, but the history of the Bible, the history of Christianity, the history of the world. I need to circle around and look and be able to get a full diagnosis of this information. And what I learned is that the more you learn, the more you don't know. Because I'm still learning, right? The more I learn, the more I don't know. And I really started looking. I took a world history class, and during that world history class, we talked about the Holocaust, the Industrial Revolution, everything that led up. The reason why our current world is fucked up right now is because of the Industrial Revolution, babes. The Industrial Revolution fucked everything, because that's when them niggas started being able to mass produce products. And if you mass produce products, then you have to have somebody sell them products too. And so they started lying. The nuclear family isn't even fucking real. It is a marketing scheme to middle class white people. And you're like, Bria, you're just jumping around. One, I have ADHD. Two, all this shit is fucking connected. They started pushing these narratives on top of the Industrial Revolution happened, the Civil Rights Movement happened, the Women's Suffrage Movement happened, all these different movements happened. People started gaining access to education. Women started gaining rights to be able to live by themselves. And you know what started happening? Women have started opting out of patriarchy. They started opting out of these structures that did not ever benefit them truly. And it never actually benefited the poor. It's always been a class issue. We've always had a class war. We've always had a class war. And I looked around, I'm 20. I was agnostic for a very long time because I was like, I believe that there's something, but I don't believe that they're like, in what they're telling me. And part of the reason why I don't believe in what they're telling me is I don't have all the information. And there's two ways to lie. There's a way to lie. They lie strictly to your face. I can lie to you right now, straight to your face. I can also lie through omission. And if we aren't privy to or have access to all the information to be able to understand intentionally, if they're withholding information, because they are from us, that even what you're reading isn't the full scope of what you're reading to. So in some form of it, there's possibly one line that's been in the Bible that was taken out. We don't know. And to me, that was unsettling, and I personally couldn't deal with that. And then I really started like looking at the world. I became a full functioning adult. I started working for myself. I started learning more about the American government, how it functions. I started making more money and realizing that my taxes was more than some people's salaries. But the majority of my tax money is going where? To war. And I look at this and I said, I can't believe. I'm full of love. I start healing. I'm going to therapy. I am going to therapy. I'm becoming a better person. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the bullshit that I went through as a child, because I want to know, is this really my thoughts? Is this trauma talking? And I started operating out of this place of love. I do my best every day to be the best possible person that I can fucking be. I do my best. I'm in school right now, just took midterms actually, to get my MBA and then to go off and get my JD so I can help our community, so I can help people who look like me, so that I can help kids who were me. A lot of y'all don't know this. I grew up in a low-income abusive household. I never want another child to have to live that life, which is why I advocate for children all the time as much as I can. And once I get to a certain place, there are a couple different foundations that I want to start. Other ones that I want to pour into, to ensure that we're helping children not have to go through the bullshit that I went through as a child. If you're not running with God, you're running with the devil. Or maybe I'm fucking running with logic and I'm doing my fucking best. And a lot of y'all sit on your asses and pray and y'all do no fucking work. And I have a problem with that.
When you talk about Black history, right? Do you know how much do you know about the Bible in Black history? No, yeah, yeah. And I want to follow you too. You on you on the top? Yeah, follow me on the top. But yeah. So we record one another, y'all. You know, so I'm talking with my bro out here. But what I do is, man, I was a former preacher. And I no longer believe. I'm agnostic. I'm one who has an open mind. But I do not believe in the gods that people have written about through my own study and research, and then studying the history of my people. When I saw the brutality, when I saw the lack of any God coming to the rescue of my folk, when you look at the dungeons that we were kept in, and you think about there's still excrement, there's still DNA on the floors of these dungeons where they held us, and they would whisper scriptures through little holes in the ceiling, torture. And no Jesus ever came to save my people. Though I was a preacher for almost 15 years, I didn't critically think about what it was that I believed. I believed it by faith. And so now I critically think. And in critically thinking, I could not justify any longer believing in an idea that did not suit my people at all. And you know, I think I'm a loving person. I do not turn the other cheek. If you try to harm me, I'm going to harm you. I will protect my life. I will protect the life of that brother holding that phone right there. But if you try to harm me, I'm not going to turn the other cheek. So I look at what we were taught and how that became instrumental in keeping the thumb in the knee on our necks, so to speak, by the powers that be. And so I say, no, to hell with your religion. You can take it back. I no longer respect that does not respect me.
You can't threaten somebody with an idea that you can't prove by saying if you don't believe this idea, then you're going to hell. And then, what is hell? Have you been there? Do you know somebody that's been there? What does it look like? Is hell just like, is it not just like your God? You got to make up in your mind what it is, or read some literature that says, oh, it's going to be fiery. But do you know that for a fact? The answer is no. Now let's talk about your God. Do you know your God? The answer is no. You believe in your God. See, I know I have 7 children. I don't have to believe I have 7, but if I didn't know, then I have to believe. And we believe those things we want to believe for the most part. So at the end of the day, everything that you're talking about within your religious ideology is all belief. None of it is real. And then you think there's something wrong with those who think critically and live with 10 toes down while your head's somewhere in the clouds in this imaginary world that does not exist. You can sit all day, go prove it to yourself. I'm telling you it doesn't exist. The same way we cannot find pink polka-dotted flying elephants. We can't find your God, your angels, your heaven, your hell, your nothing. Everything is belief-based. I ain't got time for it.
Let me say this, and this is gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. And I'm saying this with respect, okay? All right? Let me tell y'all something. If the religion that they've given us, right? Not the real thing, but the version of religion that they've gave us, if it had any significant power of helping black people or people in general getting out of their current situation, we would have never been introduced to it.
Whoa.
We would have never.
Whoa, Papa Duck. Say it again, bro.
Listen, if the religion that they given us, right, if that had any type of significant power or any type of power of helping black people or any people get out of their current situation, we would have never been introduced to it.
Whoa.
If you go look at the Vatican, you see the library of books they done kept from us. Why they ain't give us them books? We all know that the Vatican got all the books when it deals with astrology, numbers. But they took this out, they took that out, put this out, and here you go. And if it, like I say, if the religion that they giving us, their version of the religion, King James, the one they keep chopping up and regurgitating and all this and that, if that version of the Bible or religion had any significant power to help black people get out their current situation or people in general, we would have never been introduced to it.
Wow.
Who told you were going to heaven? Who told you that? I find it so funny when religious people, specifically Christians, because these are the only types of people I see say this type of stuff, be like, yeah, well, when you see me in heaven, I don't remember God giving you the permission to define and to say what he's going to do with you. Are you God? I don't remember God ever giving you that permission. Did God tell you you're going to heaven? See, this is what I be talking about. And then when I say it, all of a sudden y'all want to look weird, bug-eyed. I feel like religious people, honestly, truthfully, religious people, they are so performative in the way that they behave in their religion that y'all don't do anything just to be a good person. Y'all do it just so you can have a ticket to heaven. A ticket that you're giving yourself. God never gave you this ticket. Who told you you could get this ticket? Who said it? Who said it? At the end of the day, the only person who gets to choose that is God himself, not you. So you coming on here with confidence wherever talking about some, oh yeah, like, well, when you see me in the gates, and if I don't see you there, then what? If I see you in hell with me, then what? Whoop. Then what? Then what? Let's talk. Because I don't remember God giving you the permission to define for him what he finna do with you. Did he give you the permission? Because if he did, my bad, I apologize. I overstepped. But I don't remember him ever granting you these permissions. So either I'm overstepping or you are. Oh, okay.
God's got us. God's coming to save us. Just hold on a little bit longer. Well, when he gonna show up then? See, if nothing else, the political landscape globally, the history of the world globally has taught us nothing else is that no fucking sky daddy is coming to save no motherfucking body. See, y'all can miss me with the motherfucking BS. And I don't care who gets offended. Because where was God when babies were being unalived? Where was God when the young girls and boys and women were being trafficked through the Epstein ring? Where is God in what's happening in Sudan, Palestine, Nigeria? Where is your fucking sky daddy? And this is the problem with religion. It keeps you in a perpetual state of delusion, and it's got y'all in a fucking chokehold. There's nothing wrong with believing in a higher power. There's nothing wrong with holding on to hope through said power that you believe in. But at the end of the day, we live in an entirely different realm than that of the spirit. Okay? We may be able to tap in and to take it with us everywhere that we go. But at the end of the day, we are here on earth living a human experience. Nobody is fucking coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And I'm especially talking to my black people because the chokehold that these religious indoctrinations have on us, it needs to be fucking studied. Because there's no fucking way that we can witness all this hell right here on earth and still believe that there's another dimension of suffering for sins. A God that says that they love you, but allows suffering. It's given narcissism. It's given, you know what? The God, Sky Daddy, religion, it's giving narcissism. The perfect example of narcissism and what it looks like in real fucking time, along with the narcissistic ass governments that we all live under. I'm tired of the bullshit, y'all.
Christianity is literally the fucking devil, yo. It's crazy because the same God that they worship in Christianity is the same devil that they tell you to be weary of. It says that the devil should be able to deceive even the elite. Look what's going on in the state of the world. You can't have an all-loving God and have a Christian capitalist. You can't have an all-loving God and have a capitalist healthcare system. You follow my drift? Do you see the trends of the state of suffering of the world and the religious powers and their religious beliefs? They all go down to 3 Abrahamic religions: Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. You can't have an all-loving God but want women to be submissive. That's not all-loving. That's literally deceiving. If I'm telling you I'm all-loving but yet constantly deceiving you to your fucking face, if we're reading the Bible and it's telling you to do all of these things, that's not all loving and is not for the betterment of everybody and is only excluding you to a certain select group. And if you're in this group, you get to do certain things and you the only one to get access to God. That's not all loving. That's some devil shit. But if you're Christian, I ain't even here to try to change your thought pattern. I ain't even here to change your mind. You want to know why? Because you're being deceived. And being deceived means that you in good faith believe that you're doing right until you realize that you're doing wrong. But that's not for me to tell you that. I can warn you. I can say, yo, I see where you're heading because I've been there. But it's all up to you. But I'll leave you with this. You cannot be serving an all-loving, righteous God if you're not going out here looking at different people's situations and seeking to understand them and bring them up to a level of awareness physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But you probably think you're doing that. But you're not. You're judging.
Religion is for the weak. The way religion allows people to fully glaze over everything that is happening in the real world, you can't have a serious conversation with a religious person without something be attributed to demons, the devil, no matter whatever your religion refers to as those things. It's like you can't have a serious, clear-cut conversation without something being referenced back to that. Religion is just a way for a weak person to operate in the world, which is why so many people have adopted religions. It makes it easy when you have something that's literally telling you what to and what to not do. I don't need religion to tell me that I should be nice to my neighbor. I don't need religion to tell me that I shouldn't harm others. Specifically in the Black community, the ability to write everything off on demons is something that genuinely makes me despise religion as a whole. Everything ends up being attributed to demons. Oh, no, that's not the demons. Your son is just a child molester. Oh, it's not the demons. Your daughter's a thief and a drug addict. It's not the demons. It's not the demons. I hate to break it to you. I know it's going to shatter and break your little world, but no, it's not the demons. Religion makes it so that you can't even have a conversation and talk about what you're going through with somebody without them saying, well, let me pull out a scripture. Let me... I'm laughing because this is so messy. I come from a very religious family and I love them. But religion just gets in the way of everything. That's all you can talk about is religion. That's all you can relate to is religion. Outside of that, you're nothing. You have nothing outside of religion. And I think that's really what it is. You had a hard time in the world navigating with just yourself, so you needed something to cling on to. You needed something to cling on to in order for you to be able to keep working your way throughout this world. The problem is, I don't know if I want to continue this.
Religion disempowers you, and I want you to know the difference between truth and distortion of truth like it is in religion. Religion often operates through control mechanisms, guilt, shame, fear, unworthiness. These are dense, contracted states of being. They make you feel small, powerless, and in need of some outside savior or institution. That's the hallmark of illusion, literally. That's the matrix. But truth from source, on the other hand, is neutral and pretty liberating. Neutral doesn't mean emotionless, though. It means free of distortion. When you encounter truth, it doesn't bind you in fear. It expands you into recognition. You feel clarity, you feel empowered, you feel uplifted. And that is the difference. Religion will tell you that you ain't shit, that you need saving, that you are powerless, that you need something to come and save you. Truth, though, will remind you of your power, that you are divine. So the test is actually very simple. If it contracts you, if it leaves you in guilt, in shame, or fear, it's distortion. If it expands you, empowers you, and reminds you of who you are, that's the truth from source. Religion disempowers you, but source will always empower you and remind you of who you really are, a powerful being and creator.
We're having a lot of conversations about people still being religious, Black people still being Christians, and all of those things, right? But I think that we should also, or it would be beneficial to start having conversations about what a person gains when they walk away from religion. Because the truth is, you can't really talk most people out of it. For a lot of people, it's their lifeline, it's what they're holding on to. And if you were to remove that, well, what do they have? So I'll share with you some things that I believe that I gained when I walked away from religion. My most valuable one is this. I gained access to my own mind. I can tell you 100% that walking away from religion made me smarter. It literally made me smarter. I remember how I used to, like when I was religious, I remember how I used to think, how I used to write, how I used to speak. Do you understand that when you walk away from something that controls you or oppresses you, you become a much more intelligent human being? Oh my gosh. And think about the fact that if you walk away from religion, you meet a new version of yourself. So many people, they might have different hair, different car, different jobs. So many people at their core will always be who they are until the day they die. When you do something massive, like walking away from religion, you change your life on so many different levels. Another benefit, I'm still working on this too, because Jesus Christ. Walking away from religion has saved me from so many terrible and predatory men. I'm not saying that they don't exist anymore, because I'm still meeting them, but I can see it a little bit clearer now. I believe a lot of women who are devoted to Christianity, they are easy prey for misogyny, patriarchy, abusive marriages and relationships, and they stay in those things because they believe that it makes them more lovable or more of a God-fearing woman or more of a Christian. It's not right. And I'll give you a third one. When you walk away from something, well, now you have space for something else. And what I really enjoy about no longer being Christian is my relationship with God or the universe or the divine or spirit, because it has changed a lot, is the fact that it has changed so much, and I get to learn and meet new parts of myself when I discover new facets of being, or being spiritual, or creating my own rituals, or learning how to go inside and your ancestors just show up inside your head and they tell you stuff and it's real. Oh my gosh, it opens up your life so much. And if you are a person who wants to be more intelligent, you want to see the truth of your own world and reality, because I promise you, it is nearly impossible to do that if you are devoted to Christianity. What you are promised is access to yourself. You get to meet who you are. You get to meet and learn more about yourself. You get to transform into someone new who is more kind. I know that I love myself more, that I'm not stuck in that controlling ass religion.
So rapists, murderers, and all those people, as long as they accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they can go to heaven. But if you ain't done none of that shit, and you really try to live your life as a good person, but if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell? Wow, that's crazy work. I don't know if I'm rocking with that.
Religion got to be one of the biggest scams in history. The first person who came up with this was honestly a genius. And I want to ask this. I kind of know what answers I'm going to get, but let's just ask it. When you are a Christian, right, what do you have to show for it that everybody else ain't got? Just think about it, because you see Christians that say they are blessed, but they get the same blessings everybody else get, and it ain't Christian. It could be an atheist or something. Or you got the same hardships that everybody else got. So it's like you are a part of some exclusive club with the superhero in the sky. You should have everything to show for it in your daily life. Think of it. You will see a Christian that's poor. You see somebody who ain't a Christian that's poor. You will meet a rich Christian. You will meet somebody that's an atheist that's rich. You meet a Christian that's crippled or got cancer. You meet somebody else who ain't religious at all and they crippled and got cancer. So it's like you should be, in some type of exclusive way or exclusive lifestyle to where you ain't got the same problems. And all people gonna say is this: oh, it's the afterlife. We get to go to heaven. Nobody knows what happens when we die. For real, for real. We got some good ideas. We got some myths, but nobody has actual evidence on what's gonna happen. All you got is beliefs. Think about belief is not fact. It's just something you think. I can say I believe that Kobe Bryant is the best basketball player in the whole world, but that's just my opinion. It don't make it fact. And this is the kicker, right? The people that's controlling you, your pastor, your reverend, your elders, They get their reward now. They got something to show for that shit. They got the big house. They got the Cadillacs, the Benzes. They got everything to show for it right now when they are part of their Christianity. And you ain't getting your reward until you die. You ain't got nothing to show for it.